From Washington, this is VOA News. Officials search for a missing Mozambique airliner, and Ukraine declines a trade agreement with the European Union. I'm Vincent Bruce, reporting from Washington. Officials in Mozambique say a Mozambique Airlines flight carrying 34 people has gone missing while traveling from Mozambique to Angola. The flight was due to land in the Angolan capital, Luanda, Friday, but never arrived, and airline officials have not been able to get in touch with the crew. Mozambique Airlines says that the initial information indicates the plane might have landed in northern Namibia, near the border with Botswana and Angola. Down to the last day, the European Union held out hopes that a free trade pact would be signed on Friday with Ukraine, the largest former Soviet republic after Russia. But as James Brooke reports from Moscow, the European Union summit meeting in Lithuania ended with no signature from the Ukraine.
After years of negotiations with the European Union, Ukraine's President Viktor Yanukovych left a EU summit meeting in Lithuania on Friday without signing a long-awaited free trade and political association pact. Poland's President Bronisław Komorowski told a Polish newspaper that Russian President Vladimir Putin deployed against Ukraine a policy of hard pressure using money, economics, and politics. In Russia, Europe analyst Viktor Mironenko says the Ukrainian leader's main focus is to win re-election in presidential elections in March 2015. He says Yanukovych wants to approach the campaign year with his hands untied. Keeping Ukraine's political calendar in mind, EU leaders left Lithuania on Friday, stressing that they are leaving the door open to Ukraine to sign next year. James Brooke, VOA News, Moscow.
The news in Ukraine reportedly has resulted in thousands of protesters in Ukrainian cities chanting, "Ukraine is Europe." The head of international military forces in Afghanistan has apologized to President Hamid Karzai after the president harshly criticized the United States for what he said was a drone strike that killed a child. A coalition spokesman says U.S. General Joseph Dunford called for Mr. Karzai and expressed deep regrets for the Thursday strike and any civilian casualties. The official also said Friday that an insurgent riding a motorcycle was the intended target of the strike in the southern Helmand province. More details at voanews.com. A U.S. defense official says the U.S. is not overly concerned about reports that China sent fighter jets to monitor U.S. and Japanese aircraft that flew into its newly declared air defense zone over the East China Sea. According to China's official Xinhua news agency, the Defense Ministry spokesman said Friday the fighter jets identified 2 U.S. and 10 Japanese aircraft during their flights over disputed islands controlled by Tokyo and claimed by Beijing. Beijing said Thursday it had sent warplanes into the region on a monitoring mission, but Friday marks the first time officials have reported the monitoring of specific foreign aircraft. More than 1,000 opposition supporters in Thailand left Army headquarters in Bangkok peacefully Friday. After about 2 hours, the protesters had briefly stormed the compound in a bid to get military to join their efforts to topple the government of Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra. Opposition leaders now say Sunday will be their victory day and have called for supporters to besiege the Prime Minister's office. They vow to take over every ministry until Prime Minister Yingluck resigns. Rwanda's government is considering a reversal of its ban on plastic bags. For VOA, Nick Long has more on its history.
Under a law enacted in 2005, Rwandan traders and manufacturers are not allowed to use plastic bags as a packaging material in the local market. Partly as a result of this ban, which has meant that litter decomposes more quickly, Rwanda has won awards for environmental protection, and newcomers to the country are invariably impressed by how clean and tidy it is. Rwanda was the first African country to ban plastic bags and should be the first to produce oxo-biodegradable plastic for itself and for the region. Nick Long for VOA News, Kigali.
Iraqi officials are investigating a series of attacks that have killed at least 29 people, including the abduction and murders of 18 people in a predominantly Sunni region. The victims reportedly include several security officers and at least one tribal chief. Investigators say unidentified gunmen posing as security officers kidnapped the men from their homes late Thursday and early Friday. Visit us at voanews.com 24 hours a day for all of the latest. I'm Vincent Bruce reporting.